This video is going to take a look at solving equations, okay, by factoring part 2. So this is going to go along with what we studied the last couple days. A model rocket is launched off the roof of a building, and its flight path is modeled by this equation. Negative means the parabola is opening down. I get that. T squared means it's a parabola shape. Okay. H is the height. So here's where you'd call the height. It's in the y place. And t is time in seconds. Okay, so t is the time. At what time or times does the rocket reach a height of 7 meters? Does it ever get 7 meters off the ground? Let's see. 5, 6, oh yeah, 7. It definitely is 7 meters high. It looks like once on the way up and once on the way down. Well, this one looks really nice, kind of, and that one, I don't know. So at what time are we talking here? It's not 0 seconds. It's not 1 second. It's almost like it's at a half of a second. And what's this one? This one looks like it's pretty close to 4. Is that 4? 4 seconds? Based on this picture, these are the answers I'm getting. But I'm not absolutely liking the fact that I had to guess that point. Okay, so let's do the same question, but let's use our algebra skills. Okay, so the equation h of t is equal to negative 2t squared plus 7t plus 4. Okay, and do I want to know where it hits the ground? No, I don't want to make it be equal to 0. I want to know where does it equal a 7. Okay, so I'm going to say, when does this equation equal a 7? Okay, so we plugged 7 in for the height. Let's write that down. Plug in 7 for the height. So last time we were plugging in 0 a lot because we wanted to know the x-intercept or a height of 0. But now I want to know, when does it equal a 7? How do you solve this? Well, we're going to have to move everything over to one side. I'm not really liking this negative. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to move everything to the left. Switch sides, switch signs. That makes a positive 2. I like that. That's going to be negative 7t. And then I'm going to minus the 4. And then there's the 7, and it equals to 0. Let's add these numbers, combine like terms. 2t squared minus 7t plus 3. Okay. When I'm solving a quadratic equation, I know that I need to factor, and it has to equal 0. So let's work on our factoring skills a little bit here. If I make the box and I put 2t squared and 3, the multiply number is 6, but the add number is negative 7. How am I going to make a 6? 1 and 6 or 2 and 3? I think they both have to be negative. 2 plus 3 doesn't make 7, but 6 and 1 does add to negative 7. So the numbers are negative 6t and negative 1t. Okay, let's go ahead and do our factoring. If it starts with a negative, let's take out a negative 1. Here I'm going to take out a negative 3. Does that work? Good. This is going to be a 2t and a t and it checks. Okay, so our factors are 2t minus 1 and t minus 3. Okay. So when I solve this right here, I'm going to split this up into two separate baby equations. 2t minus 1 equals 0 and t minus 3 equals 0. Switch sides, switch signs. I got t equals 3 seconds. And then over here, 2t equals 1, divide by 2, t equals 1/2 second. Okay. Oh, so 1/2 was the right answer. And what's going on here? 3 seconds. Did I miscount these boxes? 1, 2. Oh, it is 3 seconds. It is 3 seconds. Good thing I checked with the algebra. When you look at a graph, what is, I guess, the more accurate way of finding the answers? The algebra way for sure. The numbers don't lie. The graph, especially when it's in the middle, might be estimating a little. Okay, so here's some hints for you. Make sure your equation is equal to 0. You may need to rearrange. Okay, factor completely. Don't forget about any GCFs that you could take out. Set each factor equal to 0 and then solve. Okay, let's work on solving these by factoring. Okay, step 1, it's not on one side. I'm going to move the 14 over there to the left. X squared minus 5x minus 14 equals to 0. Step 1, check. Step 2, we have to get this thing factored completely. Okay, so we have to make sure that we have some good factoring skills. I know it's got to be x and x to make x squared. And then how am I going to make a 14? I think it's got to be a 7 and a 2. Now how about the middles? How do you make the middles here? It's got to be a -5. Which one should be negative? The 7 should be negative and the 2 should be positive. Okay? Some of you are factoring by guessing and checking. Some of you should still do boxes. So if you need to pause the video and go do some boxes and come back with the answer. So if you need to do that, pause that right now. Okay, come on back. Now that you have it factored, we're going to say that the first factor equals 0 or the second factor equals 0. And now we have 2 mini equations and we'll solve them. X equals 7 and x equals -2. Okay, remember, if it's a squared power, that means 2 solutions. Okay, number 2. I'm noticing it's not all on one side. I always like to have the highest power go first and be positive. So I'm going to subtract 12x, move it to the other side of the equation, and I'll make the 0 be on the right. And the factoring is just a little easier when your leading coefficient is positive. Okay, how am I going to factor this? It's not a difference of squares. I think we're going to have to take out a GCF. The greatest common number is 3, and the greatest amount of x's is just 1x. That leaves us with x minus 4. Okay, now it's been factored, but I don't see 2 sets of parentheses. Well, that's okay because this is a factor all by itself. It's just a little monomial factor. So when it's time to split it up into 2 little mini equations, either the 3x equals 0 or the x minus 4 equals 0. Make sure you make equals 0. Those are equations. Equations have to have equal signs. How do you solve something like that? All you need to do is divide both sides by a 3. X equals 0. Here I'm going to add 4 to both sides. X equals 4. Okay. Number 3. The depth of a submarine can be modeled by this parabola. Okay. So let's see. I know that it is a parabola shape. Parabola. Since it's a negative, I know it's going to be opening down. It opens down. Let's see. How about a y-intercept? Those are always easy to find. Yeah, y-intercept. You plug 0 in for the t, 0, plus 0, it's going to be negative 16. It just kind of helps me get things started. Okay, so if I were to look at more of a general equation and add a very detailed graph here, the y-intercept would be negative 16. So that's going to be down here, negative 16. And I know the parabola is opening down. I'm not exactly sure how to draw it here. I don't know how high it goes or how low it goes. So maybe I'll just kind of make it up a little. I'm not sure if this is like the perfect picture. I know it's opening down, but that's okay. At what time is the depth 1 meter below the water? According to this picture, it looks like it's 2 times. It might just be 1 time. I'm going to have to do some algebra to figure this out. 1 meter below the water is negative 1. Okay, so is the submarine ever 1 meter below? Maybe 2 times. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this equation, and I'm not going to say equals to 0. I don't want to know when it hits 0. I want to know when does the equation equal negative 1. When the height is negative 1. Okay, so we're going to have to go ahead and solve this. To make it equal to 0, I could bring that negative 1 to this side, but I really want to make my leading coefficient positive. I want to move everybody to the left-hand side. Left, go left, go left. That's going to be positive 2t squared minus 13t. That's going to be a plus 16. Don't forget about the minus 1 and equals to 0. So let's see, if I do 16 minus 1, that's 15. And it looks like I'm going to have to solve by factoring. Solve by factoring. No GCF can come out, so let's get straight to the boxes. 2t squared, 15. Let's see, we're looking at a 30 with a negative 13. Is it 1 times 30 or 2 times 15? Ooh, 2 times 15 probably would work. If, let's see, who's negative? Well, I can't make them negative unless I make both of them negative. Well, that's not going to make a 13, is it? Is it 3 times 30? I'm sorry, 3 times 10? 3 times 10? But they'd both have to be negative to make a positive. I think that's it. Negative 3 and negative 10. Okay, we got the winners. And we're going to put them into the T boxes. If it starts with a negative, take out a negative. This would be a negative 3. That would be a T. That would be a 2T. We got it. So the factored form is 2t minus 3 and t minus 5 equals to 0. Okay, now I know it says equal to 0 here, but we started with negative 1 and then rearranged to make our 0. We're still trying to figure out negative 1. Negative 1 right here is what we plugged in for the y value. Plug into the height. We plugged it into the height, or the depth, the D part. 2t minus 3 equals to 0, or t minus 5 equals to 0. Here, if I add 3 and divide by 2, t is 1.5. Here, add 5, t equals 5. Oh, so it does hit 2 times. It seems like one of my answers right here, one of the answers is 1.5 seconds. And it has another answer right there of 5 seconds. Nice. All right, I can't wait to practice this with you tomorrow.